Good morning. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, you wisdom guided oracle. And we're having coffee, my beautiful Turn Up the Love mug. Isn't that not gorgeous? Thank you, Julia from Pennsylvania. She gifted me that a while back. And how is everyone doing there out there in Facebook world, YouTube world, Instagram world, wherever you're seeing me? Um, Thank you for tuning in as you do. Thank you for your kind words and support through the years. If you're seeing me for the first time, would really appreciate a subscribe, a like. Doesn't cost anything, but it can help the channel to grow. And share if you get a chance or if you believe this message is helpful. This one is a little straightforward today. Was looking at through my feed and saw a person posting on how rough things were becoming. And I was thinking back to posts I've seen over the last 4 or 5 months from them. And it has all been fear focused, lack focused. Good morning, Jean. How things could be going bad focused. And, you know, we are so incredibly powerful in our intention. And that means in the focus that we are holding. And I remember them posting early on about how afraid they were about the happenings in the government and what was going to happen to their social security, and nothing's happened to it. And yet that has been the focus. And so what we focus on, we create more of. We bring into our field. We are the drivers of that focus. And it's like we're creating more of what we don't want and less of what we do. And so the tough love today is about, if you want things to change, it's got to happen here. You have to bring it into your consciousness with intention and focus, and be paying attention to what it is you're focusing on. So I asked for the animal. What is the animal coming through this morning about this? Opened up randomly to a page. It's the cat. This is a period where self-sufficiency and trust in your own capabilities is necessary. Honor your sensuality by dancing slowly with graceful and easy movements and by enjoying touch and physical intimacy. Listen closely to your intuitive guidance, as it's likely an ancestor who is one of your spirit guides. This is a period of magic and mystery for you, so pay close attention to signs and omens that will guide you. This is where you want to turn to this greater inner power that you have, rather than letting the outside influences tell you what it is you're supposed to be fearing. And both sides will tell you who you need to fear, why, and why they're wrong. Quit listening to that crap. Move into what it is you desire. What would you be? What would it be if? Um, I do a process in the retreats, or I did in this one. I don't do it in every retreat because every retreat has a little different flavor. But this one was about the mean girl and what they say in the back of our mind and how they work against us. And so I invited them to go through and, list a few of the things they've been telling themselves over the years. And one of the women, when I got to her, quite red faced, and, I think she thought there was going to be pushback. She said, "No, I'm not doing that. I've dealt with all that. I'm not going there again." And I said, "Okay, how about you write down, if all things were possible, what would life look like moving forward?" And she did that. And that was, she absolutely knew where she didn't want her focus to go. And that was perfect. So, I invite you to do the same. We're very good at identifying everything we don't want. We're not really as powerful in the what am I choosing. Good morning, Jean. Great morning, Susan. We're maybe a little less than powerful in identifying what we do want and holding that vibration. this card, which I don't use this deck very much. It's Don Miguel Ruiz. I can't remember what it's called because the box is somewhere else. The voice in our head doesn't belong to us. We aren't born with that voice. Thinking comes after we learn first a language, then all of the judgments and lies. The voice of knowledge comes as we accumulate knowledge. And as we accumulate the understanding of who we are, how we can do this life in a way that we choose to do moving forward, and what we can do to hold that space. We are the creators. We are the ones bringing through what is right in front of us. If you don't like what's going on in your life, you're the only one that can change it. You can't, it's like Einstein said, you can't keep using the same mind to solve the problem that was created with that mind. Meaning, if you keep thinking the same thing over and over, you're not going to get anything different. So the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. Where is your focus? The person I was talking about earlier, the whole focus is the victimhood in the life that they have lived, and all that has happened to them to create where they are now, which honestly is a beautiful place if they choose to go to gratitude about. I mean, they show pictures of their surroundings like, oh my God, what a beautiful apartment you live in. Maybe it's not the setting you desire, but until you learn that gratitude aspect, and in finding all that is good, Pollyanna rules, um, in where you are, nothing's going to change. Good morning, David. And so, what is it that you desire for your life to look like? As the creators, in our energy, we begin with our thoughts, our words, our beliefs, and that's where it needs to change. The first card from the Unicorn Magic is Toadstools. It's growth. We're going to go ahead and look at that. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Growth is going to happen in any direction. It will happen with the focus you place there. So what does that look like? Let's see what the unicorns have to say. I believe this is the last card in the deck. This is a brand new deck. That's a Stargate. We've been there, done that. Okay. 44. I am presence. I am that I, nope, that's not it. That's because I have the wrong book. Good morning, Hasham. 44. Let's look at this one. All right. Growth. Through the forest floor, though the forest floor looks sedate, beneath the surface, a kind of enchantment is occurring as the mushrooms grow and wait. Then, when conditions are right, there is an explosion of toadstools throughout the woods. It happens so fast, it seems magical. Yet preparations have long been occurring out of eyesight. The fairies and elves rejoice and even dance in the fairy rings. The thing is, all that energy was placed in the waiting space, just like we do when we may be in a space that this isn't exactly what I want in my life. So I'm going to spend time in this space, envisioning more of what I want and less of what I don't want. I remember as a young woman, finally just honestly giving up the dreaming of what it was I wanted in order to be happy with what I had. And that was propagated by a few around me too. So I willingly went, okay, I'll do that. I will just focus on what I've got here. And I always had a grateful heart, but I quit doing the what ifs, if all things were possible, because it made me less settled in what I was doing. And yet life unfolded in a way that has led me through all of the transformations, but holding everything I've desired in my field in that kind of that treasure chest that we can hold was really imperative for it to unfold for me like it is now. It isn't always, well, it's rarely actually in our timeline. So growth happens, but it happens silently. We don't see it. We don't know what's happening. That whole forest for the trees, and hindsight is 2020. When we can see what was unfolding afterwards, we go, "Oh yeah." So we're then, if we look back and see how these things that may have been less than easy helped to shape us into who we are now, or helped us see things differently from a different perspective, then we can own the growth that was there. The next card is power. Ooh, this is a gorgeous, look at that dragon. Power. You are the power. You hold that power of creation within you. If you keep focusing on what you don't want and whining about how things are, that's where the tough love comes in. uh, One of the things that happens is we age and we retire from the job, particularly men, because more men are attached to their identities are what they did. So when they stop doing that, they lose the identity of who they were and they begin to enfold. And generally, their lifespan after, as an average retirement, is 2 years, because they can't find a place that they can now serve the world. I used to teach a class called, is it possible, or how to end up, how not to end up in a nursing home, an assisted living, that you don't need to do. So many reasons were preventable. One of them was get over yourself, get out and find someone you can help. Because I can guarantee you, there are people in the world that need what you have to offer, just like you are now. You don't need to be any different, but your focus needs to shift, is who can I help today? And instead of, oh, woe is me, I'm not anything like I used to be. I used to be this strong person who could do da 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 da. Again, that just propagates more of what you don't want. The last card from this beautiful Sacred Forest deck is Expansion, Spirit Guardian of Summer. When you focus on all that is good and what you desire, that's when expansion can happen. It's like when you're focusing on everything that isn't, what you don't have, what you don't want, you build this cocoon around you of not letting in what you do want. It becomes very hard shelled. You have to start breaking it open from the inside to birth that new expansion. The chicks have to go inside, and if you help them, if you get too much help, which is where the victim energy comes in, and they just want your energy and want you to pet them and feel sorry for them, they're not strong enough to survive afterwards. If you open the shell of a chick and you help them out, they have not gained the muscles they need to survive in the world. So we have to let people do what they do with love, shed love on them, but don't enable them by, oh yeah, poor you. I mean, there are times when that is absolutely valid for a period of time. The victim energy holder wants that to continue because they don't want to do their work. They want everyone else's energy to help make them feel better. And that does not serve them. It does not serve you. Help is great. And again, for a limited period of time, the energies of others can sustain us. So let's see what the unicorns have now that the Sacred Forest has chimed in. Um, let's read Louise Hay for today. It is Monday, May 19th. Life supports me in every possible way. I am safe, protected, and very loved. All is truly well in my world. This is how you create more of what you want and less of what you don't want. I wonder, did you notice my fingernails? My 5-year-old granddaughter came and painted my nails with unicorn. No, this is mermaid paint. So magical fingernails now too. How can you create the magic you desire? Because you are the magic. Open, willing, and ready. Guide me to being aware when I am creating more of what I don't want. Open your heart. Love yourself. Dare to be vulnerable. Look at that beautiful unicorn horn moving to the heart, and they're sending that energy out. Be vulnerable with others without sucking their energy. An energy sucker, a vampire, is the one who does not want to do their own work, wants to continue to be the victim. That's not a conscious thing for most of them. It is an unconscious and a habit of thought that I'm not quite capable of. I don't have what everyone else does. Look what they've got. I remember I'm not that special. I don't have that special sauce. All of these things, it's like we do have that special sauce. We just want to allow it to move to the surface instead of keep burying it with all the reasons we have to be the victim, to not have grown the way, not to have what we want, whatever that is, a relationship, a situation in life, happenings, all of that. Start with what you do have. Those two very powerful tools. Love yourself. One way to do that is to shed pure love and joy out into the world consciously, intentionally, every morning for just 1 minute. Do it for 2 weeks and see what happens within you. See what happens to your little world around you, what begins to unfold. Things will shift because you are constantly filling yourself with the love the universe has to offer and sending it out into the world. Then the gratitude practice. What is already working in my life? I can hear, I can see, I can walk, I can talk. Water comes out of my tap. The lights go on. I have a car. It may look terrible. It may be falling apart. It may be where I live, but I have a roof over my head. We have to sometimes get very basic because life circumstances can cause us to be in a place of great strife, lack, unhappiness, all of those things. Okay. Thought I dropped one, but I didn't. So, what is the unicorn's next advice? Create creative solutions. Think outside the box. View things from a higher perspective. Ask the universe to give you the observer perspective. That forest from the trees, we can't see the forest for the trees, is such a true block. Ask, what is it that I need to see now that will help me move forward? And you'll get the opportunity to see it from a different perspective. It may come from the mouths of others around you. It may come from a billboard. It may come from the television. It may come from your best friend, your spouse, your child. There are so many ways Creator does communicate with us. And the creative aspect, how can you be creative? It may be sitting in the park weaving grass. It isn't what you're creating, it is the creative energy coming through you. That is the important aspect. How can you learn what your creative abilities are? You just start with what you're passionate about. It may be finding along the way a little box of watercolors and scrap paper that you can just begin combining colors on. Just start, just jump. All of that helps weave together you as the creator and the understanding that you are creating what you have. So stop whining. If it isn't what you want, stop whining and get to work. Create more of what you want and less of what you don't want. The last card today is manifest your dreams. That beautiful. What is it you desire? Focus on your vision. Seek satisfaction and contentment. Go after what is it you desire. Now, if you're faced with, let's say you live in your car and you desire that mansion, you might want to desire the little apartment first. The next step, what would make life just a little bit better for you right now? Holding that mansion in your dreams. And the truth is, as you move forward, you'll probably realize, well, the mansion isn't what really is going to make me happy. The being able to serve in this respect and hold my little place here that is a great little apartment that has beautiful things in it. Maybe it's not the setting that I've always dreamed of living in, but it's like, Abraham Hicks said, focus on the general and then move into the more specific. I want to be living in a place other than my car. And man, would it be cool to have this little apartment that was big enough so that the bed could be a Murphy bed, fold down when I needed it, but I'd have space to do yoga. whatever that looks like. It is within you. The outside world didn't do this to you unless you choose to see it as a victim perspective. So you do you, create more of what you want. If what you have in front of you isn't what you desire, ask to be made aware of how you're creating more of that. If everybody is always against you, that is what you're creating in your head. Allow yourself to co create with your creator by gratitude, shedding pure love and joy, spending time throughout the day doing that. I mean, if you're in an intensely uncomfortable situation, I advise every time you think about it to spend a minute shedding pure love and joy on whatever. It does not matter, the walls, the ceiling, the street, the sky, the clouds, people, animals, trees. It is the shedding of it, the choice. Get to that heart swelling feeling that you feel when you hold a pet, hold your baby, hold your grandchild, get out into forest, swim in the water, sit next to the ocean, whatever brings that heart swelling feeling. Focus on that for 30 seconds and then shed that love feeling into the world. You will benefit, and so will the world. So a little bit of tough love today. Quit whining, get to work, own that the creation is all yours. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. Until we meet again.